Zombie Sheep Sleepwalkers. What is a zombie? Well, if you look at the first picture here, this is a classic movie zombie. These type of zombies are usually found in horror and fantasy movies. According to popular culture and folklore, they're neither alive or dead. They're reawakened corpses. Zombies usually appear when it's chaotic. You get the zombie epidemics, law and order disintegrates. You know, you may have to kill other humans to protect yourself. So you'll need a firearm, a rifle, you know, a gun. Zombies are afraid of fire, so you need to have some fireworks, some petrol, something like that. Set the bastards alight. How would you kill a zombie? You need to destroy their brain. Take it off with a chainsaw, machete, samurai sword. And if you don't cut it off 100%, you'll regret it. Because these fuckers are fast. Right? It's like the faster the virus moves through them, the quicker the body moves. When you're bitten by a zombie, you become reborn as a sprinting, snapping shock troop of the undead yourself in about 15 seconds. Research into this estimated that each zombie could live 20 days without brains, assuming a starting population of 7.5 billion people, approximately the world's population today. The students calculated that it would take 20 days for a single zombie to start an epidemic of notable proportions. As a stand-in for anything we fear: pandemic, racism, societal change, depersonalisation of humanity, pervasive threat, and how this threat affects people. As I've mentioned, you'll find these zombies in movies: World War Z, The Walking Dead, Shaun of the Dead. There are other movies, but those are just a few of the more famed ones. I think the original movie was White Zombie, starring Bela Lugosi. He played an evil voodoo priest in Haiti who zombifies beautiful young women. So really only a handful of movies have ever came close to it. The Serpent and the Rainbow is another one. That's a book you should read. So if you look at your Oxford English Dictionary, the word zombie first appeared in English around 1810 when historian Robert Southey mentioned it in his book History of Brazil. But this zombie, spelt with an I and no E, was not the familiar brain-eating man-like monstrosity, but instead a West African deity. The word later came to suggest the vital human force leaving the shell of the body, and ultimately a creature, human in form but lacking the self-awareness, intelligence and a soul. It was important to Haiti and everywhere from Africa throughout the slave trade. Yet again, we return to slavery. So we all know the fictional zombies, right? So we went through some facts about zombies. Okay, a lot of people in Haiti and, like we were saying, South America and Africa, they actually think zombies are real, very real, and they're no a joke. They take them seriously, and this is their beliefs in magic and witchcraft that spread throughout the Haiti and the Caribbean area. They were forms of religion such as voodoo and Santeria. You also have hoodoo as well in there. So Haitian zombies were said to be people brought back from the dead and sometimes controlled. They are controlled through magical means by voodoo priests called bokers and hongans. Sometimes zombification was done as punishment, striking fear into those who believed that they could be abused even after death. But often the zombies were said to have been used as slave labour on farms and sugarcane plantations. The mentally ill, they claim to have been held captive as zombie workers for decades, though nobody can really prove that and no investigations were ever verified. So, Westerners considered zombies little more than fictional movie monsters. But that's been questioned, and that was questioned by the scientist named Wade Davis. He claimed to have found a powder that could create zombies, thus providing a scientific basis for zombie stories. Though he didn't really believe in the voodoo magic, but he believed in, that he'd found something that could, poison people, turn them into zombies. And this, he said, was a powerful neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, which can be found in several animals, including pufferfish. He claimed to have infiltrated secret societies of bookers and obtained several samples of the zombie-making powder, which were later chemically analysed. Davis wrote the book The Serpent and the Rainbow, and it's been made into a horror movie. So check that out. We're currently into this recording. I'm explaining to you what a zombie is. Okay? And we're not finished with a zombie yet. So, is there an actual disease that can make you a zombie? Known as chronic wasting disease, the fatal progressive neurodegenerative illness was first identified in the 1960s. Like mad cow disease, spread by prions, the zombie-like pathogenic proteins that aren't alive and can't be killed. So at this point in the video, I'd just like to say zombie spirit, zombie, living dead, snake god, automation, mechanical, apathetic. We can agree or disagree in this, but I feel I've covered the zombie part. There are other parts to this I could go into, which is the technology side of it, but we'll leave that for now and we'll move on to the sheep. Okay, the sheep. The sheeple. Is sheeple a word? Seems to be a word. Officially a word. So here we go. The actual definition are people who are docile, complacent, or easily influenced. People likened to sheep. Okay, so as we now know, sheep and people make up sheeple. Sheeple flocking to get the new iPhone. Sheeple flocking to protest. Sheeple staying in their houses and doing what they're told. Wearing masks. Sheeple when a large group of people that make up the majority follow an idea that's not based on fact. Sheeple is a play on the word people, who usually live with the herd mentality, following other people blindly as opposed to thinking on one's own and being an individual. We have hoi polloi, those who follow trends blindly. Portmanteau of sheep and people, derived as sheep, follow their flock and shepherd, seemingly mindlessly. Sheeple, people who have no mind or free will of their own and go with the flow. Hollywood is full of mindless sheeple. Sleepwalkers. That's used fools that are out thinking that you're going to change things, or things will change themselves, or you've got a say in anything. You do not own anything. You have nothing. You only have what they give you. That's it. People will say that they're awake. You're not awake. You're dreaming that you're awake. That's what you're doing. People like me are trying to give you information on things. Not even the fact that you might know it or you don't know it. It's the fact that you need to know it. You're in a program, a deceptive program that keeps you in line. Okay? And when you go on about wearing masks and what side you want to vote on, just remember, all these things are supplied to you by those who are ruling you. Everything that you do is being watched while you're sleepwalking, while you think you're awake, while you think you've got a say in matters. You do not have a say. You are sleeping. They've got a magic potion over your head. They're actually broadcasting frequencies to have people out there running riot, causing damage, basically shooting each other, stabbing each other, raping people, robbing, looting, and generally antisocial behaviour. Not just the normal people doing it, but the politicians are doing it too, the bankers are doing it too, the corporations are doing it, the media's doing it. They're all doing it. So while you're on about sleepwalkers, right, all a sleepwalker is, like I said, who's somebody who's dreaming that they're awake. Waking the fuck up!